one that you don't take the Hot Wheel car and run it on the ground. You actually put it on your iPad, and the track under the car moves. So you just keep the car here, and the track is moving under you, and it feeds you information and asks. More and more, we're just attaching to these devices, right? And they kind of, this doll, who will only never make you share. You don't ever have to share anything with this doll. I mean, like, you know, because it's a doll. So you don't have to. You just don't have to bump up against the discomfort that we normally would have with playmates, and learn how to kind of share space, have conflict and things. And also, it's creating this kind of unrealistically empathic, constantly only focused on you reality in a very different way. So there are a couple kinds of interventions I want to talk about in terms of how we can control for or manage some of these intrapersonal impacts. The first, the digital ones, are to keep technology out in the open, especially to encourage families to have their screens and the ways in which kids especially are attached to their technological devices out in the open. You know, when I was growing up, I had a TV in my family room, you know, and if I was going to watch the Forbidden Show, and this was the only TV in the house, which at my house, the Forbidden Show was The Love Boat, and my dad called it Smut Barge. That's how much he hated that show. And if I was going to watch it, very likely he was going to walk in, or someone was going to walk in, and then I was going to be found out, and then I was going to have this conversation about how this content wasn't helpful to my maturity and my blah, 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 which was highly, highly motivational to not do that. Now our technologies are such that we have an isolated experience them, and we have them completely outside of the purview of any of the wise counsel around us. And so there's no kind of help in discerning what the content that we're taking is. Whereas if we have the screens out and about, then there is kind of some help from those around us. Installing filters is really important. One of the things I find that's happening on a lot of college campuses is a lot of individuals, especially individuals who are highly distracted or individuals who have had real issues with porn, are switching from smartphones to flip phones because it just helps them not feel like there's such a constant temptation to be distracted. But again, if you're not going to switch all the way over, at least installing filters. There are all kinds of apps and filters that you can install that will turn your router off at a certain time, or disable social networks for a period of time during your day so that you can engage. Maybe turning your notifications off so that you aren't constantly attending to that. And then if we're talking about actually content filters that you're going to put on home kind of systems so that kids don't get access to things that hurt them early on, you have to talk with your kids also about what you're going to do or what they're going to do when the filter fails or when they get around it.